please avoid this type of day trading strategy. It really is hopeless, and it's a strategy where if you use it, all you're gonna do is spin in circles. You're never gonna make any progress, and you're never gonna get better or make any sort of consistent money. Full disclosure, I will admit, hopefully there's some comedic relief in this because I'm not making this up. This is real, I verified, and I mean, even if you've been around for the years that the channel's been around since 2013, then I'm sure you're aware of some of the conspiracy theories out there about my other channel, which is where I just do very basic, very simplistic analyses of technical charts. And from there have been some conspiracies. Oh, those are signals. That's for your secret penny stock shorting group. And I realized, wait, what are you talking about, Clay? I know it sounds pretty crazy, but it's true. And in fact, if you've ever watched any of my Clay Trader Mail video segments, you'll see that there's always kind of a stream of comments that came in, which I mean are funny and funny in a sad way. However, at the core, they do represent a day trading strategy or a swing trading strategy, or really just a strategy mentality that is never going to allow those people to get better. And for the point of this video, like I said, offer some comedic relief, but I also want to just kind of challenge you and make you aware of, are you doing this? Now, maybe not to this far extreme where you're wearing a massive not only a tinfoil hat, but like a tinfoil suit. So you might be not that far, but even if you're anywhere around doing this, then it's very dangerous and it needs to be avoided. And remember, a strategy is not always about where I'm gonna buy, where I'm gonna sell, where I'm gonna put my stop loss. Those are strategies, of course, but there's also probably the most important strategy is up here, your mental approach to the market. The view the way you view the markets, view the world, and all that. And if you don't have those right views, then from a strategy perspective, you're just not going to make any progress. So let me first just read this comment. And like I said, I wish I could say that I like planned this or made it up, but I didn't. So I'll put it up on the screen here so you can read along. So Francine says, your videos are enlightening, especially when you use different colors highlighting the chart movements. You post quite a few on TSNP, and depending on the color you use to line the chart appears to signal your minions to dump. Quite strategic manipulation, most agree. I mean, I've gotten a lot of comments over the years, but I don't know if I've ever had anything about, oh, Clay, I know the manipulation. It's the colors you choose. Why wouldn't it just, my minions, why just wouldn't send them a text alert, give them a phone call, send them a letter in the mail? Like I said, I don't, in this day and age, why don't I just send them a quick email? I don't know why I would need to use colors, but anyways. So the problem here though is, yeah, she's wearing some tinfoil hat, whatever, but let's look at Francine here. And Francine, I'm assuming, I guess I could be wrong, but I like the odds that I'm right, but Francine wants to be a good trader. I would assume anybody that gets in the markets, you want to be a good day trader, investor, swing trader, be good at trading stocks or Forex or cryptos or whatever. You just want to be good. I think that's a safe assumption. But the problem here is, and maybe you already see where this is going, but Francine, as of now, will never get there. We'll never get there. And I can say that very fact of the matter because she is just never going to, and I think it's a she, so I'm just going to go with she. If it's a he, I apologize. But she's never going to get over to that area because let's think about it. What is she doing right now? Well, she is going down this path, and I'm just going to call it the other path. And over here, this refers to the blame part of it. Meaning, when things go wrong, where's the blame lying? And she's going with others, right? Very clearly, she's blaming me, she's blaming my minions and the different colors I use, all that. But what is the problem with actually others? Well, there's really twofold. When you blame others, number one is you're never going to have any confidence. Your confidence level will never be really established because in this case, think about it. Under her premise, it's impossible for her to have confidence because if I show up and if I use blue instead of red, or I don't know what her color scheme is, but if external force, if some sort of external force shows up and then, well, poor Francine, it's just, I really just can't get ahead. Not only in trading, in life, if everything's rigged against me, if I have no control, if it's just always others, that's a very tough spot to ever really grasp any true confidence. And if you're a beginner just getting started in the markets, I assure you, confidence, it's going to be a must. If you're not feeling confident in your strategy, if you're not feeling confident in your abilities, then yeah, I'm not saying you'll never make money, but consistent money, it's just never going to get there. And then the second thing here is improve, which is not going to happen. I mean, if it's not her fault because she's blaming others, then, and this is part of a lack of confidence, how is she supposed to improve? She didn't do anything wrong. You know, on that penny stock she's talking about, it wasn't her fault that she probably bought way too high or that she listened to some sort of joker, pumper on a message board or something like that. No, it's not her fault that she got a bad entry point. It's just not her fault. It's me and my colors and what I was using. So because it's not her fault, do you see the logic? Well, what does she need to improve on? It wasn't, she didn't do anything wrong. It was somebody else's fault. And that's a place where obviously you're never going to be able to improve. And when you never improve, then of course, the underlying dynamic there is you're never going to get any sort of confidence. So my question to you and my challenge is, do you do this in somewhere of your trading? Again, not to this extreme, but are you in this other category? When it comes to the blame, are you focused on some sort of other source, some sort of external force that's really out of your control? Because if you are, then I'm telling you right now, you're never going to get that confidence and you're never really going to be able to improve. Other than if your lesson learned was, well, it was that external force. That's not a lesson learned. That's just, right? You see the problem there. But here's a path that you need to take. And again, this is not some sort of opinion. This is actually pretty common sense, but I want to make it aware, but you need to go down this path. The mirror path. You look at the person in the mirror. Yeah, that's the problem. But think about how awesome. Think about how freeing it is when you can look in the mirror and be like, yeah, that's the problem. Because guess what? If that's the problem, it means that's also the solution. And when you are the solution, then of course you can hop right up here. You can get confidence. You will actually be able to improve because you're actually blaming the source of the problem, the person in the mirror. And way too many times, and I still feel a temptation every now and then, I lose money or I don't get quite a good entry point or just something happens, and not even really trading. I mean, I'll talk about in life in general. And I have this sense, I have the kind of desire to point the finger at somebody else and not the person in the mirror. But that's not a freeing spot to be in at all. It should feel good. You should be happy, especially as traders, that you can point the finger at the person in the mirror because the problem is also the solution. And hopefully, that kind of, wow, yeah, that's awesome. So if you are somebody that's out there, again, I'm not judging you. We've all been there. And I don't know if we ever all quite leave that area, that the desire to want to point fingers someplace else. But just be the best you can aware of it, because when you point the person at the mirror, then you can actually address the problems. So Francine, no, there's no color scheme going on. There's no minions. There's no anything like that. And there's no way Francine is going to be watching this video. But if you are, I hope you consider that maybe hopping down in this category because, you're going to start to notice you're going to get to areas that you want to get in terms of confidence and actually improving as a trader. So if this helps out, hopefully you kind of got a little comedic relief. Like I said, I wish I was making this stuff up. I don't know. Francine may be watching this and saying, well, Clay, he used yellow there and he used pink up there. That means, I don't know. Francine, I promise these colors, they don't mean anything. They're just kind of the random, whatever I decided to pick up. So don't look too far into this, okay? All kidding aside though, like I said, I hope Francine gets herself on a better path in terms of her, mental strategy to the market. Because yeah, this strategy right here, the strategy of going down the other category of blame, definitely needs to be avoided. Now, before I go, real quick, if you enjoy these videos, especially if you like where I take comments that I've gotten and then try to turn them into educational videos, let me know down below in the comment section, or just hit the like button, or better yet, do both. Hit the like button, leave a comment below, even if it's just a thumbs up emoji, rainbow, butterfly emoji, any emoji of your choice. That helps out and letting me know, is it worth it for me to do these videos where I take people's comments? So leave any sort of feedback down below. And then also check out the channel as a whole. If you like what you see, then hopefully you decide to hit that subscribe button, as I would love to have you as a subscriber. So yeah, get out there and avoid the strategy of blaming others and run towards the mirror strategy, because when you're the problem, you're also the solution. First off, thanks so much for watching the entire video. Real quick, before you go, I want to invite you to a live webinar, web class, training, workshop, online event whatever you want to call it, but it will be me live revealing to you what I've discovered that has allowed me to transform myself from being an employee to being my own boss, including how I had only one losing day out of 73 days in total. I'm going to cover 3 keys that have helped me unlock profitable consistency within the markets. The first key is super weird, but in a productive type of way. The second key is super awesome because it quite literally is wired into our DNA as humans, making it very easy to use. But in a cruel way, this becomes a pitfall for many traders. I'll explain it all though, including how to avoid the pitfall that it creates for some. And yeah, the third key, when you hear it, sounds way too good to be true, but it's not, and I'll show you how it all works. Then at the end, I open it up for a question and answer session that is, again, totally live. Even if you can't make the live session, please still sign up as it will be recorded, and you can go back and watch the replay that I will send you. Click the image on the screen or click the link down in the description box so you can get the date and time and claim your spot, which I should note is limited due to the fact that this truly is a live event. If you have any questions, let me know. If not, I'll be seeing you soon.